So, here we are for another Review or Die podcast. I'm with Ryan.
Hello. And I'm with Toby.
Love that. So, today, following up from the Telegraph's poll of 10 most overrated films, or article of 10 most overrated films, we have clubbed together and picked our 10 most overrated films.
We're 5 each, so...
Yeah, Ryan has picked 5, I have picked 5. We don't necessarily agree with each other's choices. There are some that we do agree with, and we're going to explore them here now in this podcast.
And quite, we didn't mean to, but I've come up with fairly modern films, and you've come up with a few not so modern, I suppose.
Yeah, I think overall we've probably got a good blend. So I'm going to go with your first film that you think is massively overrated. These are in no particular order.
No. It's not a top 10 list.
A general list of 10 overrated films.
So, do you want to read out it? Or?
Well, what is your first overrated film?
Oh, you want me to first? Okay, so The Hangover.
Why?
So were you a fan, first of all?
I quite like The Hangover, yes, yeah.
Right, this is a problem I've actually brought up in The Nice Guys review, where I do believe that American humour, general American humour, and me just don't get on. The Hangover film, there's 3 of them, isn't there?
There are, yeah.
Well, I only saw the first one, and I just didn't understand why it was funny. Like, I felt like I was in another world. Like, cause I was told this was a brilliant comedy, everyone found it hilarious. Just didn't click with me at all. I didn't find it funny at all. Didn't see why it was funny.
I have to admit, I think the second one is actually probably funnier in terms of laugh out loud funnier. But The Hangover did leave me sort of had a smile on my face. It was very silly, but I do see what you mean. It is overrated. I did see lots of 5-star reviews, 4-star reviews when it came out. People were saying go and see it.
Yeah.
So I can see why you think it's overrated for sure.
Yeah, well, that was my reason for that one. How about you?
First film for me, potentially controversially, and I know a member of Review or Die will
the other one
maybe never talk to me ever again, but I'm going to say Pulp Fiction.
Ooh, he went there.
For me,
I liked it, by the way.
Did you?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
I wouldn't say it's his best, unlike the other person in Review or Die,
Yes.
but I wouldn't say it's a bad film.
It's not a bad film, I don't think. I just think it's potentially one of Tarantino's worst films. I think when you had Reservoir Dogs, I think the problem with Pulp Fiction is potentially the context. You had Reservoir Dogs where these characters are so human about what man can do and what the seething troubles of masculinity when they're all caught within one room and when tempers flare and the stakes are high. Whereas Pulp Fiction, all that drama is sort of removed for this sort of glossy style of interspersed narratives that are cut together with people you don't really care about or don't really get to know at all. I can only really probably tell you 3 characters from it, maybe 4 off the top of my head, and there's a somewhat ensemble cast of maybe 15 or 20.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Which I don't think's a good thing. Which then left me with no connection as an audience member. I felt sort of disappointed. I felt disengaged. I didn't really want to invest anymore in the film and where it was going. And I know the film's title is Pulp Fiction, so therefore, obviously, it's not meant to say a lot or meant to do a lot. I'm not sure if Tarantino is aware of that. I'm guessing he obviously is.
I would have thought that was the point of it.
But as someone who you either pay to watch it or you pay to purchase it and see it, I just thought it was a mess, really, and there's not enough interweaving or clever linking of the narrative for me to have any joy out of it. And it's probably Tarantino at his worst in terms of the dialogue is so smug. Whereas Reservoir Dogs, you've got that one beautiful scene at the start where it's all this crackling dialogue comes and goes. This is throughout, and it just becomes incessant at the end. Sorry.
I will point out one thing that's also going to make me an enemy of the other member of Review or Die, is that it is the most overly quoted Quentin Tarantino film.
Oh God, yeah. It's quoted all the time, and that's maybe another reason.
Yeah. Anyway, for my next pick, another controversial, but for the member I'm sat next to, Up. Disney Pixar's Up.
I can't believe this. Why?
To me, it felt very staged, to be honest. Like, it was just, we've got this odd couple pairing straight off the bat of the I don't remember their names, the boy and the old man. What are their names? There we go. You can't remember. Anyway, and it felt very contrived. You know, there's the boy and the old man, odd couple. We then have the comedy character of the dog who can speak from the collar, and then we also get the other like comic relief character of the bird that just goes rah every now and then. And Kevin, you remember Kevin?
Yeah.
Isn't that a minion? Anyway, I felt very. It just pushed the emotion on you, especially at the beginning. I was told this is like a very heartbreaking film from the beginning onwards. I didn't go with it, to be honest.
I think when it came out, people said it was very heartbreaking, and that only really the first sort of 15 minutes are. The rest of it's quite a joyous, upbeat discovery adventure film, which I really loved. I think it's a fantastic slice of animation because it's emotional, but it's also got that real hearty journey, and it's very, very funny. And it just looks superb, doesn't it? Well, I think anyway. I know you didn't like it.
I mean, it looks as good as you know. Pixar always looks good, I think.
But it just there's something about this one.
Yeah, I keep trying to push it back.
I'll jump on to our next one now, and
Oh,
this is going to be potentially controversial.
yes.
I'm going to say Vertigo as an overrated film.
Vertigo.
Yeah, which I know has recently been voted best film ever according to Sight and Sound.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far, but I did like Vertigo.
But it's not even Hitchcock's best film, I don't think.
No. What would you say is?
Either Rope or North by Northwest.
Yeah, I'd say North by Northwest.
I'd say potentially, but the film felt too long, too drawn out. It's a film about tension, which Hitchcock is a master of. We know this with Psycho and even North by Northwest, Rope. But we don't feel any tension. I didn't feel on edge at any point. I think it's dated a lot more than a lot of his other works. I think it's dated particularly a lot more than Rear Window has, or North by Northwest. And I couldn't get invested in the plot. I wasn't invested with the character. Not in the way that Pulp Fiction was in terms of its style, but because it has this contrived dialogue that you don't really believe in. You think, oh right, you're just telling me about the plot here. You're not giving me anything about the character. And the big scenes that it claims are great, you know, such as the nightmare one, or when you look down off the tower, they've aged so badly, I think. And that's why I'm not a massive fan of it.
I mean, I can see where you're coming from. I can, but
You liked it.
I really liked it. Yeah.
Admittedly, I've only seen it once, and people that I've spoken to have said you need to give it more.
Yeah,
than one
I
go.
will say that I didn't enjoy it as much the first time as I did the second and third times I saw it.
So I might.
So you may change your opinion.
I might rewatch.
Not necessarily will.
What's next for you?
Might be controversial saying this, but you know, it's gotta be said. Bambi.
Well, I'm with you there.
Oh,
Actually.
okay.
Yeah. No, I don't like Bambi either. I'm totally with you.
I think it's Bambi being one of the earlier Walt Disney films has got this like sort of. It's got a thing about it, how it being again like Up, but this being really like heartbreaking beginning, and no, I don't think it was that heartbreaking.
I agree.
And I mean, Disney animation back then is nice to look at as most of the Disney animation was, but it just lacked any sort of I suppose motivation from me as part of the audience to want Bambi to succeed in whatever. There wasn't really much of a journey either. He grows up. That's pretty much it, and there's not really much story to that. It was very set pieces, wasn't it? I mean,
it is. There's lots of set pieces when he's on the ice and stuff, of course.
And that makes it so you can actually remember pretty much most of the film, and you just don't quite bother to watch it again.
So there are our first 5. Join us again for part 2. And obviously, if you agree, or most likely in this case, disagree with our opinion,
That's probably most likely.
do comment below.